Order, it is 9 a.m. Welcome to the Trustees of Trust Funds meeting of January 17th. To my right is Kathy Scher, and joining us on telephone is Liz Petrides, and sitting in the wings is Bill Wilkes, also on telephone. So our first order of business is the minutes of November 22nd. Do we have a motion?
I move they be accepted.
I'll second.
Any discussion, corrections, omissions?
No.
Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we have to, because we're on the phone, we're doing a roll call vote. So I will say yes. Kathy?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
3-0-0. The couple of comments on the forestry stuff. I did put in the request with the selectmen last month, town council. I'm never going to get used to that. With the town council to put our request on the town warrant. They approved that. It was an easy thing because the warrant article is the same as the one we used in 2004. And so that didn't have to go through the language approval or anything like that. So that'll be on the warrant for the deliberative session and the ballot.
On the subject of the harvest, I got an email from a resident in the neighborhood, hoping to get some information about what it sounds like some concerns on what the harvest would mean to the neighborhood, and they had requested a meeting or walkthrough potentially with Eric to understand what it would look like. And I don't recall when we had talked about this last year if that was part of the plans or not, or if we could see if that might be possible to reassure the neighbors of what this would feel like to the individuals who use the property.
I don't see any reason we can't do that. It probably wouldn't. Eric has to go through and do an inventory. There's an intent to cut form, which is an inventory of what you're going to cut and how many board feet of this, and how many board feet of that, and whatever else is involved. It's usually a tax form, and of course we don't pay taxes to ourselves. But he would have to go through and do that inventory and pick out what's going to be cut and marked and so forth. And I don't see any reason why somebody couldn't connect with him at that time. But it could be next December. It could be a year from now.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them? I think we can, if they want to keep in touch with you, you'll have the schedule. And when we get closer to something actually happening, then we'll work out the details of the schedule.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody, maybe on Profile Circle, there's some people that might be close, but there's nobody close on Mitchell Street. Do you know where these people live?
Chadsworth Court, she says. She says it's adjacent. It's more of a concern. She's mentioning the neighborhood impact, but also seemed to be largely concerned around usage of the trails during the harvest and what it would look like after the harvest as well.
The trails will look really nice.
Right. I think it's just more a matter of during the harvest itself. Obviously, there's going to be some times where there may be
Sure.
safety concerns with being down there, but afterward.
Well, I think we'll just leave it as is for now. You can tell her when we get to that point. Could be a year from now. We'll get them together.
Okay.
At least it's nice to know people are paying attention.
Right. I know.
Next item on the list is scholarships. We have paid the Gibson Scholarship and the Greenleaf Scholarship. For whatever reasons, we have not received any requests for payment on the 5 Watson scholarships. And you may recall last year we said 6. I I thought we communicated that to everybody, but apparently they only awarded 5. So we've got that left over. The other thing that's going on with the Watson scholarships is we haven't, I'm getting this through the school. They communicate with Barbara Watson, and they have not had a final on that to get the usual donation that they make at this time of year. So we have about $30,000 in that account, and my thought process is that until we can coordinate with Barbara, we should spend that money because that's what the instructions were when it was given to us. If anybody has any thoughts in that direction or think we need to do anything formally, let's have at it.
So I'm just making sure I'm following. We're saying that we have not received the yearly donation from the fund at this point
Right, but we have money in hand from previous years.
already, right?
What
Okay,
happened
got it.
way back in, I guess it was 2003, I think was the year they started this. So they gave $5,000 for scholarships, which get awarded the following May. Then they don't get paid until the following January. Well, by the time the following January had come around, it was the end of the year, and they gave us another $5,000. So we've always been a year behind, and that $5,000 extra in the first year, plus a couple that were awarded but then not accepted, have added up to that lump sum that we've been using for other, or for backup funding. So that's basically the story.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
is there any, has she or was there any paperwork that said that they would be contributing, or they don't have a requirement to contribute. Obviously, they do it as, they please. So, there is a possibility, I'm not saying that's the case, but there's a possibility that she's decided not to contribute, correct?
I suppose that's possible. What I'm hearing from the school is she just is not in a position to make up any changes right now.
Okay.
I can't say more than that because I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should spend what we're, what she's already allocated,
Sure.
but we obviously can't expect that she's going to contribute again. She doesn't choose to.
Well, we're running into the same thing. Remember a couple of months ago, we wrote to the school board, and we have not heard back from them about the Lego League, which has been funded and of course, didn't run during the COVID pandemic. So we have some extra funds there for Lego League, and we will need to do something with that if we can ever get a response from the school board. Tentatively, I have a meeting with the school board, but no date as yet. I had sent a note to Laurie Peters about the Gibson scholarship, and they said, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice to thank the Gibsons in person?" And then Mrs. Gibson has had some surgery, and she's still recuperating, so there was nothing scheduled until she can attend. But that's where that sits. So we do have an opportunity to meet with the school board, and I went back and looked, and we haven't done a full-blown meeting with them for many years. I think it goes back to when we first, Jack Balcom and I were there, and somebody in the public comment session said, we should have Mandarin in the schools. And Jack and I looked, and they said, well, it's not in the budget. It'll take another year to do that. Jack and I looked at each other and said, well, we could pay for that. And they gave us an estimated amount of money, and we did. And that got them started
Right.
for the first 2 years of Mandarin.
Do they still do Mandarin?
I don't know. They've had cutbacks in, what do they call it? Language arts, they call it now, I guess. And I know they cut back in French, and there was a lot of to do with the deliberative session about that last year. And they're working on revamping the programs. So I don't have enough detail on that to tell you anything definitive.
So what are your thoughts on the Watson as far as,
I think we give out the same 5,000 that we've been giving every year. We have plenty of money on hand to do it.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we will do that by consensus.
Yep.
Let's see what's next. Well, the next thing is to see if there's any feedback from the audit. Apparently there isn't. Paul isn't here today. We just talked about the school board response, which they did say they think they will schedule the Watkins Prize speaking contest for June. And we received in the mail, and I think I emailed this to you all, an invitation to the spelling contest, which is on Thursday, the 20, where is it here? Buried in the text.
The 23rd?
Thursday, the 23rd, Friday, the 24th is the snow date.
I won't be able to make that.
No, I won't.
And it starts at 8 o'clock, and Bill and I would probably have to go late because we have a meeting prior to that. So I will be in communication with them, but Liz, you can't go, and Kathy, you can't go.
I cannot go, no.
Okay. That was your big chance to get on stage and make a speech.
Oh, goodness. They don't need to hear me.
Next is correspondence. We had a meeting with the town council in December, and they accepted a donation of $12,000 to go into the Bear Christensen Fund, which has been deposited $8,000 in principal and $4,000 in the income side for that is expendable. And that occurred December 19th, actually. Future dates coming up. We have a meeting scheduled for February 21st. Can everybody make that?
I will be away for the February and the March meeting.
it would be better for me if we could kick it out another week, Chris. 28th.
How about you, Liz?
I can make either date, the 21st or the 28th.
All right, let's go to the 28th. And March 21st?
I'm around.
I believe I'm around.
Very good. And just for information purposes, the school district deliberative session is March 4th. That's a Tuesday. The town deliberative session is March 12th. I think that's a Wednesday. And town meeting is April 8th. And I am up for re-election.
Yeah.
So
Who's your opponent?
you don't want to know. Just watch the streets for the signs.
I will.
Other information. We had a deposit to the town capital reserve funds, $2,790,000. Spread out amongst a dozen capital reserve funds, the same ones that we voted on as town at the town meeting in April. So that check came in and was deposited, and they'll probably withdraw most of that in June, which is the typical sequence. And I think that's all I have on the schedule. Anybody have anything they want to bring up?
Nope.
I'm good.
Me too.
Kathy, all set?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there being no further business, I'll call us adjourned at 9:22.
Very good. Take care, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you
great
all
day.
Thank you.
for your efforts.
Bye, everyone.
Liz, hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Take
Bye.
care.